Your pure divine energy field is always active. It is never inactive. How large this energy field, though, does fluctuate based on this psychic debris and some of the other elements that we will discuss as well. I would like to invite you to an extraordinary journey to your intuition. This is a 3-day in-person immersive experience with myself and Angie Decanales. Basically, we want you to forget everything that you know about psychic abilities and let yourself be surprised. Some of the benefits to this workshop is that you can gain more confidence in your intuition, you can be more assertive in your life, draw healthy boundaries, make conscious choices, and find creative solutions to the challenges of your day-to-day life. One of the things that is really important on this journey is to be able to connect in with other people in person. Over the internet is great as well, but in person is better. We can really spend the time together. We can cultivate a beautiful energy together. And every group that's going to come together for these workshops is going to have its own unique resonance. And we're going to explore all kinds of things like mediumship and channeling and automatic writing. We're going to take a look at the Akashic records, quantum hypnosis. You're going to experience light codes and light language, sound healing and breath work. There are going to be all kinds of wonderful things that you're going to experience over these 3 days. If you are in Europe, or maybe you want to use this as an excuse to take a little vacation, the extraordinary journey to your intuition is taking place in Paris, January 26th, 27th, and 28th, 2024. If you are in London, Angie and I will be there February 23rd, 24th, and 25th of 2024. And then the third set of dates for the first half of 2024 is in Amsterdam, May 31st, June 1st, and 2nd. If you would like more information, please head to my website at infinitesoullove.com/store. You will see all of the information and all of the details there. Looking forward to all of you beautiful souls joining us for this extraordinary experience. Welcome back, everyone. I wanted to start today's episode with a little bit of gratitude because in the last week, we had American Thanksgiving. Now, I am here in Paris still, but we did celebrate with friends. So for those of you who are not American, we call this Friendsgiving because it is typically made up of a bunch of friends who maybe don't have family in the area where they live. I want to start by saying I am very, very grateful for you, for all of you, for supporting this podcast, as well as all of you who have decided to trust me with your journeys. It means a great deal to me that you have put that trust in me and in yourself to be able to move forward on this journey. So thank you. The multiple things that I'm incredibly grateful for are my incredible support group that I have here in Paris, my soul family, and the people that repeatedly show up for me on a regular basis with love in their hearts. It is everything. So thank you. I'm grateful for my wonderful, wonderful furball, Mr. Lucius. I'm sure all of you, if you've been listening for a while, you hear him in the background. He's actually currently sitting on my lap, as he typically does when I record these. So I'm grateful for everything that is meant for me that comes into my life, even when I don't realize that it is meant for me, or even when I don't realize that it is the best thing for me. And I thank each and every one of my guides for helping me with that. I want you to take a moment today and think about the things that you are grateful for and say it out loud. Tell the people in your life that you are grateful for them in your life. It's important It's important to be able to express that gratitude without any attachment to it. So a lot of times people have a tendency to say, oh, okay, I keep my gratitude journal, and it's basically in order to manifest something else or in order to have abundance. And that's a really beautiful practice, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it's good to just have gratitude for the sake of the gratitude. So take a moment and do that sometime today. Today's topic is going to be psychic debris. This was by request from one of my clients. Her name is Danielle. And I just wanted to say a quick hi to her on air because she is phenomenal. She's a wonderfully powerful soul. And I was speaking to her after a session. This was over email, and she had suggested that she wanted to know more about the topic of psychic debris. So initially, I can sort of talk about what I know specifically based on what I have seen in the Akashic Records, based on what I've seen in other sessions, and then we'll dive into the channel and see what the guides have to say, if they have anything more to say about psychic debris. So my understanding of psychic debris is the sort of energetic leftovers, if you will, of any sort of experience that we have here on this planet. If you can imagine that you experience a trauma of some sort and you're working through that trauma and you're starting to feel okay again, but it keeps on popping up in your energy field, that feeling or that emotion or that old energy. And it's mainly because even though you may have worked through whatever that trauma was, you still might have psychic debris or little bits of energy sort of stuck in your energy field and or your body that need to be cleared or released. If you can imagine, it's just sort of the excess energy or the excess pieces of information that were as a result of whatever experience this was. And it doesn't have to be even through a trauma. It can be anything, quite frankly. It could be even a happy occasion. You could have psychic debris from a happy occasion. It's just the matter of when we have psychic debris from a negative experience, it can impact our life in that way. If you have never seen the movie Soul, the Pixar movie, go watch it. Because the representation of what psychic debris is actually pretty incredible. It's a very beautiful visual representation of what that is. So the part of the movie, and I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it, but the part of the movie is when 22 feels dejected and lost. So once you hit that part of the movie, you'll be able to see sort of what that operates as in that movie. So that's the basic definition of psychic debris as I have seen it. There can be various weights of psychic debris. So it could be very light. It could be just sort of a dusting, if you will, or it can be as heavy as an anvil. It just depends on how much you've accumulated and how much weight that has on your energy field. And it certainly does have an effect on your aura. It has an effect on your auric field. And it also has an effect on how other people show up in your experience. There are often times when I will say that you lead with your energy. You don't lead with your smile or your cool clothes or your beautiful hair, whatever it is. You don't lead with that. Yes, that's part of it. Of course, people see that, the physicality of you. But what they see first is your energy. And every single person on this planet does it. And they don't actually realize that that's what they're doing, but they are. They're seeing your energy first. It's why when people say, well, I don't understand why this person is responding to me in this way. I've been nothing but nice to them, or I've done nothing but this. The reason why a person might be reacting to you in a way that maybe you don't understand is because you are leading with your energy field. And if your energy field is full of all of this psychic debris from the past, that's what they're seeing first. They're seeing the sadness, they're seeing the trauma, they're seeing the old things that are still remaining within your field. That can be somewhat frustrating because if you don't see what that is, if you don't understand what is in your energy field, then it can be really super confusing to figure out like why people are reacting to you the way that they are. But here's where the universe gives us a little clue. And that is in the mirror. So how people show up in your energetic space and in your physical space is a really good indicator as to what you might have going on in your energy field. One of the things that I've been really working through recently is this idea that people that I have a tendency to fall for, or people that I have a tendency to have interest in from a romantic sense, in the past have mostly been completely emotionally unavailable. And you might say, oh, well, Annette, you have this podcast. You talk about self-love. You talk about unconditional love. You're all about the love and expressing that and everything else. Well, yeah, of course, now I am. But I haven't always been in the past. So you can be one of the biggest hearted people and all about love, but you can still be withholding that love from others. You could be withholding that energy in your own energy field and not letting it out. Or you could have this giant sphere of psychic debris around you so nobody can see that love, nor can you receive that love from other people. So that is something that I had dealt with very often, actually, throughout the course of my life, where I would be really trying hard to get somebody to either notice me or love me in some way when they weren't available and they weren't able to. Or was it that I just couldn't receive it in the way that they were giving it? This can get into sort of a tangled web of, well, which is it? Which is it? Is it the fact that I couldn't receive the love that they were giving, or were they emotionally unavailable? Well, I could say that it's probably both, without getting too specific about anybody in particular, but as a general rule, it could really be both. What I have done for myself to clear that energy field is all the shadow work that I've done, and to go through this process, this journey that I've been on for the last 13, 14 years-ish. And that is the process of getting rid of that psychic debris, really going into each trauma, going into each situation, and really asking myself, okay, is this still active in my energy field? And if it is, okay, what do I need to do to clear that energy field? Sometimes it just takes a simple clearing, and sometimes it takes something that is much more time consuming in terms of really diving into the wounding and the shadow and trying to integrate that. And this is the work that I do. This is the work that I do in the records all the time. Okay, so I'm going to tap into my guides and see what they have to say about the subject of psychic debris. Psychic debris is a really, really good topic. It's something that we love talking about because it is so important. There are elements of psychic debris that Annette doesn't know about just yet, but she will after this channel. The parts that she talked about earlier are absolutely true, that you do lead with your energy, and your psychic debris in your energy field is one of those things that you lead with. But there are other things in your energy field that you lead with as well. It's not just psychic debris. Psychic debris is one of those things that are left over from experiences as a human. They are left over from your experiences as human, not only from this lifetime, but from past lifetimes as well. And that is what you are constantly clearing by the experiences that you have. Or you are constantly growing that psychic debris field by the experiences that you have. It depends on how much you are working towards your healing and how much you are doubling down and really going deeper into that wounding. There are 3 other things that will be part of your auric field, the subtle bodies of your energy. The first thing is your pure energy field. So when Annette talks about leading with your energy field, the purity of your energy field is always there. We want to be clear on this point. because your pure divine energy field is always active. It is never inactive. How large this energy field, though, does fluctuate based on this psychic debris and some of the other elements that we will discuss as well. So if you can imagine a soul in a body having a sphere of light around them going in every single direction, that is you in your purest form as a human. There are very few people on this planet who have completely clear energy fields. It is not entirely easy to have that on this planet simply because not only do you have the psychic debris, the experiences that you've had in past lives, the experiences that you're having on a day-to-day basis in this life, but you also have the energy of others. When you come across somebody else in the physical, your energy fields overlap or they mix together for a brief period of time. And you can pick up elements of their psychic debris. You can also pick up elements of their trauma, especially if it is a collective trauma. If it is a collective trauma, then that is something that can hang out in your energy field as well. And that is the third thing that is in your energy field. So the first being psychic debris, second being your pure energy field, the third being other people's energy. And how much of this energy you take on is up to you. You can fully take on somebody else's energy, somebody else's thought form, somebody else's beliefs, or you can keep your energy sovereign. It is up to you. It is a choice. This energy that I'm speaking of at this time that belongs to other people can be soul fragments. They can be thought forms or belief systems. Soul fragments being much more heavy in the soul. Soul fragments are not easily given. They're typically given in times of trauma. They're typically given in times of intense emotion. It is something that we require you to do when you incarnate, is to recall all of the soul fragments that you may have given away and return all of the soul fragments that somebody has given to you. If you do need help with this, you can ask Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. Any of the Ascended Masters can help you with this. But it is simply setting an intention to do so. Practitioners like Annette can also help you with this as well, but you don't need a practitioner necessarily to be able to do this. It is simply about setting the intention. Once those soul fragments have been returned to both parties, you can then start to clean and repair the holes in the auric field that happened during that time, during the fragmentation of the soul. An absence or a hole, if you will, in your auric field. If you can imagine somebody taking a paper hole punch and punching holes in your entire auric field, that can also be something that happens with a trauma. And what happens when you have a hole in your auric field is you are leaking energy. Annette had an experience with this with a friend of hers not too long ago, where every time they were together, she felt incredibly ungrounded, like she was about to float up in the air. She couldn't think straight. She couldn't form sentences well. It was a very odd situation for her because this had never happened to her before while being around a particular person. She then decided to help her friend and did a session with her and came to the realization that this friend had a hole in her energy field that was leaking energy. And it was not only leaking energy, it was almost coming out like a hairdryer. It was very forceful energy that was coming out of that hole. So every time Annette was in her energy field, she would feel the blast of this energy, which would throw her off kilter. So we were able to close and repair that hole in her energy field. So then she was able to retain the energy for herself, and she didn't have other people's energy moving through these holes in her energy field. All 5 of these things make up your energy field, and they are important to address. If you are having experiences in your life that you do not want to have, it is important for you to address each one of these situations. How pure and large is your energy field? You may have the purest energy field and the largest energy field, and you still might have negative reactions from people or other reactions from people that you may not prefer. And sometimes that has to do with them and not you. If you have a big, bright, beautiful energy field and you come across somebody whose energy field is full of psychic debris and holes and belief systems and soul fragments of other people, you are going to repel them energetically because they are going to look at your energy field as too big and too bright that they can't actually see. So from that perspective, what Annette had said about people being your mirror, it is true oftentimes, but it's not always true that people are your mirror. Sometimes you are the mirror for somebody else and not the other way around. So from that example, if you have somebody who has a lot of psychic debris and your energy field is clear, what they are going to see in you is exactly what they need to see. There's nothing you need to do. It is simply their perception of you that is the mirror. And if you look at them and you see a lower energy or you see all of that psychic debris with your third eye, you can simply know that that is their journey and that is what they need to go on. It is very difficult to make broad generalizations about anything in terms of energy fields because everybody is so different. Annette is learning this more and more every day with every session that she does with every client, that every single soul is very unique in its origin point, in the reason why they came here to Earth. And because of that, because of the origin point and the soul signature of each person, each soul and person are going to react differently to various different types of situations. If you can imagine, if you're a soul that is a natural transmuter, having psychic debris in your energy field isn't a big deal because you naturally transmute that energy automatically. Those transmuters out there who are constantly transmuting, let's say you transmute your energy field, but then you're transmuting the energy fields of everyone else around you, that can get exhausting and your energy will be depleted. That can create the holes in your energy field. You see where I'm going here? There are other souls that do not touch the psychic debris. It's almost as if their souls are elevated above the earth ever so slightly. And that is simply so their souls can stay pure and not pick up the psychic debris, the energy from other people, the soul fragments, any of those things. And that is by design for some souls because they need to anchor in that beautiful divine source light to be the guiding light for others. There are other souls that are simply information gatherers. And so even the information in the psychic debris or in the soul fragments, even as it might be detrimental to their energy field, it is part of their job. They are disseminating information not only to divine source energy, but to the place of origin where their soul came from. And all information is good information, whether it is something that we would deem as positive or negative here on this planet. It really does depend on who your soul is and what you're here to do. And ultimately, your job is to make sure that your energy field is as clear as you possibly can get it in any given moment that you are living. It will help you exponentially when you cross over to the other side. It expedites things as your soul washes off the psychic debris, soul fragments, and repairs the holes in your soul as you cross over. Because once you cross over into the higher realms, into the higher dimensions, you do not take this psychic debris with you. Imagine it's like a coat that is around your energy field, and you remove this coat as you cross over and as you go into the higher realms. But that coat is waiting for you when you come back into this incarnation, into the next incarnation. So you cross over, you go into the other higher realms. You make a new soul plan for your next incarnation, knowing that that coat of energy, of psychic debris, soul fragments, holes, whatever they happen to be, they're all there waiting for you. And part of your soul plan is how to make that coat lighter. So you make your soul plan, you decide to incarnate again, you go down into the lower dimensions, which is part of this earth, and you pick up that coat again and you put it around your energy field. And then you incarnate again as human with this energy field that you picked up from the previous life. So some people start off an incarnation with no coats, no psychic debris, no energy from other people, nothing. Some people come in absolutely pure. And then sometimes those people can pick up other things throughout the course of that incarnation. Others have multiple coats, and that's where it gets much more difficult for their lives in that lifetime. Those of you who have multiple coats, you know it. You know it in your heart because your life has probably been hard in a lot of ways. You've had to transmute a lot. You've had to move through a lot. You've had a lot of experiences that you've needed to overcome. It is just the nature of your experience here on Earth. There are similar experiences in other places in the universe, but it's different on a lot of levels because the experience here on Earth is quite unique. Experiences in other dimensions as well as other planets. When your soul decides to go and incarnate other places, you do not take this energetic coat with you. You have other energetic coats waiting for you in other places, so to speak. But they are made up of different elements. They are made up of different things. They are not psychic debris. They are not soul fragments. They are other things, less heavy things. They are more information about what you're there to learn. They are more information about your soul and the experience you've had on that planet or in that place, in that dimension. If you can imagine, it's like an SD card that you would put in a camera. It's simply information, so you can know how to operate in that particular place. From another perspective, the psychic debris, the soul fragments, and everything that makes up your energy field here on Earth is also information. It's very good information. It tells you what you have done and where you have been and the experiences that you've had. The challenge is that most humans are not aware of what is going on in their energy field. And so they spend most of their time just reacting to each other without knowing why. This is why it's important to acknowledge this. If you need help, reach out for help. It is important to do so. This is Akula, Annette's Akashic Guide. I am here to help, and all of your Akashic Guides are there to help you as well. We are a part of you. We are an element of your soul. Tap into our wisdom and our knowledge, and we will help you in every way we possibly can. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Akula. Okay, so that was really beautiful information and some of the information I didn't actually know about, so that's super helpful. When Akula was mentioning that we all have our Akashic Guides, it's very true. We all do. We don't all have access to the Akashic Records just yet, and it's partially due to this energetic debris, so to speak, the psychic debris. If you are interested in meeting your Akashic Guide, I do have a free meditation on my website, so feel free to go there, infinitesoullove.com, and it's right there at the top. You can click on the free meditation to meet your Akashic Guide, and you can ask your Akashic Guide to guide you in how to clear your energy field. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful week, and I look forward to chatting with you next weekend. Thank you. If you are interested in learning more about me and the sessions that I do, feel free to go to my website at infinitesoullove.com. On all social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Infinite Soul Love 1111. Hey, and if you feel called, I would love it if you could rate The Heart of You on whatever streaming service you're using, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Please take a moment, give it a review. It really does help the channel. Thanks so much.